Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, where the presenter's advice to musicians everywhere is continuing to be ignored. Give it up now. It's too late. A ponytail won't make it any better. So when you're 18 or 19, when you're playing music, that's as good as you're ever going to be. And that's your career.
Surely not.
I'm telling you. And that's as good as you're ever going to be.
So you started off playing rock and roll music, and did you not become an accomplished bass player? Actually voted the best bass player in Ireland at one time?
Yeah, I was 22.
You know.
It's all downhill from there.
No, but you started
let's
playing
not
when
get
you were
bogged down in
you
this.
started playing when you were 14.
Yes, but
so
that's
you
not-
improved greatly.
No, but see, this rock and roll is the only profession, should I say, where you peak when you're 22 and you don't get any better. And when you look back when you're like 55 and 60...
So
you know,
Keith Richards there would never have improved.
Not really.
Not really, but you're saying not really, but he could have.
No, I don't think so, no.
You see, you don't think so?
No, because I saw a film the other day, which I went to great pains to look at. It was called Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll. Mm-hmm. It was a documentary about Chuck Berry, which was made in 1986 by Keith Richards. And he was just as good a player then as he is now, Keith Richards. He was no better. And he was the same player then as he was 20 years before that.
Well, I
people
would
don't get any
argue
better.
because you are an accomplished musician. I
Look,
will
stop.
not question you.
This is a real muso talk. We can't
I
talk
remember.
about
Do you see that time you were voted the best bass player in Ireland?
in the world. Yeah.
We were all ever so proud of you.
Thank you.
In the town. Do you realise that?
I didn't
You
know.
were there before Dana.
I know.
Had we had got
kinds
you,
of
had we had
everything.
got you, we'd have carried you shoulder high around the Roswell Flats.
If Donna and I had have mated, think what that child would have been. That child would have been representative of all this good and talented.
Yeah.
Listen now,
What did you
there's something.
get for that?
Pardon?
As a matter of interest, what did you get for that?
Get for what?
That award, that been voted the best bass player in Ireland.
I
I
got
remember
this-
your photograph was on the front of Spotlight.
That's right. Yes.
I remember that.
Oh, heady days.
What did you get?
I couldn't go out. The women used to be around me. I didn't get anything. I got satisfaction. And you know, that's something I couldn't get before. Because I couldn't get no satisfaction. Talk turns to politics, where the past sins of a party leader will never be forgotten or forgiven. As far as the presenter's voting intentions are concerned, we're talking the death of a national institution, no less. I've been glancing intermittently at the television, especially on RTE, and I keep seeing that face of Michael Martin. Do you know who Michael Martin is?
Yes. Micheál.
Micheál Martin.
Yeah.
And I look at him and I say, that man has got away with it. That man has got away. That's the man who killed the Irish pub. And why could anybody vote for him? Vote for the man who killed the Irish pub. He's the man who, when he was health minister, brought in the smoking ban, which destroyed Ireland.
Way so.
I'm telling you, that was the start of it.
Not at all.
Because that was the first country that brought in a universal blanket smoking ban, and everybody else did it because all the politicians, none of them smoke, you see, because they want to live longer, so they could eat more big feeds and screw more money out of people. So they don't care. They don't want to die. So this caller says you were asked to play in a show band in the Memorial Hall in Derry-Londonderry a while back, but you said no, and wisely so. You see, I can't
What?
sing. Wisely so. I said no, and wisely so, because I know when to stop. I know men, and they shall be nameless. I know men who are still up singing and doing their stuff, and these men are over 60 years old and singing the same songs that they were singing when they were 20. There comes a time when you have to stop. The only reason why you can do it is if you're absolutely destitute. And I haven't reached that stage yet. Of course, the income tax people haven't caught me yet. The outbursts of Coilus Interruptus are beginning to have an effect on the presenter's ability to follow the programme script and indeed understand what's happening himself. And now the listeners are beginning to notice that standards are slipping.
What I'm ringing you for is, tell us the story about the dance.
I can't remember what it was now.
Ah, come on now. You must have been something about a song or something that they played.
I have no idea. I was talking to him in there.
Right, make something up then.
No, I can't do that. And I remember, I remembered one specific story, but it's flown out of my head. I don't know what it is.
The other thing,
I may remember during the course of the news when they're talking about the election down south, and I'll be switched off.
Darren, it's good to have you back anyway, because I was getting sick of Sean there the other week. It's just Blue Wrench music he was playing.
You hear that, Sean? He was
Thanks,
getting
Peter.
sick of you.
Thanks, Peter.
I'm sorry, Sean,
No,
but
it's all right,
I mean,
Peter. It's all right, Peter.
you know, it's
Peter,
good to
I
have
think
a
it's
bit of
important.
variety.
Peter, I don't think there's any point in being on the radio
If you're
and
being
not
tell the
saying
truth,
what you think.
That's correct.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
my sentences. You're starting to finish my sentences. He's starting to do that. Do you know what you're doing? You're beginning to act like a guy who talks to a guy who stutters.
and finishes it.
That's the worst thing you could ever possibly do. I mean, I remember a friend of mine, we talked about him the other day, a fellow called Billy Brown, alas, he's no longer with us. And he was a singer in a band, he was a wonderful genius, and I used to sit and talk to him. And he had a terrible stutter, and he taught me a very valuable lesson. And you'd be sitting there, and I'd be saying, I was just going down to and I would say, corner shop? And he'd say, no. I said, I was just going down to the cinema. He said, no. And he stopped. He said, listen, stop doing that. The worst thing in the world you can ever do if a person's got a stammer, a stoppage, or whatever like that, never try and finish a person's sentence. Because never put words into a person's mouth because you wouldn't like it either. And I always learned that. And now you're doing it.
Your sound's all over the place.
You don't have a stutter.
I don't have a stutter, no, but I'm just pretending I do. The sound's all over the place because there's something weird happening
There
here.
is. There's sounds.
Is Ken twiddling his knobs in the storeroom?
No, what's going on? There's
All right then. Peter, thank you.
But
Not a problem, Jerry. Good luck.
Peter wanted something else.
Did he?
Well, he said he
Well,
did.
why doesn't he say something?
Sure, I just asked you about the story about the dance.
No, then you said there was something else.
Yes.
What?
Sean, that fortnight with Sean.
Oh.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
A living death?
Sitting in the back of my dad's old Cortina, his Park Drive smoke-filled Cortina, going on holidays, listening to that old garbage and tapes, and just crying my eyes out in the back seat, wanting to go home.
And feeling your lungs disintegrate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I that's the same feeling. Yes, that's people have said that's what it's like to listen to you, Sean.
Yeah.
I hope you don't take this as an insult.
Yeah.
All right. It's been a tough week back for the presenter. CD's not playing, not enough staff. Mr. Coyle's still hanging around the building. It's starting to get too much for him. I'm a wee bit disjointed today.
Yes, I don't like you today.
Well, do you know what's wrong with me today?
You're angry. There's an anger
No.
there.
No.
There's a burning, simmering anger there.
No, there's not.
There is.
There's not.
Because I hear you've been angry about 60s and music and show bands. And you know what... I'm
not angry!
Do you know what gets to me about you?
What?
You, for years and years and years, you've been leading this campaign about the 60s music and the show band music in particular, how bad it was.
Yes.
Yet when you get on television, you never tell the truth.
I do tell the truth.
You do not?
Well,
not one of your television programs about show band scene have you told what you say on the radio on television.
I wrote a book about it.
You never said it on television, I said.
I was never asked on television.
Yes, you did. Yes, you were.
When was I on television?
You had a number of years ago. You did a television program traveling all around, but the ballroom of romance and places like and talking. You talked to Brian Call, and you.
We won an award for that.
But you never told what you really feel
That's
about.
because
the
I
show
was getting
band.
paid money to say it.
You see, because you come on and you made a program with the show bands, the program that people wanted to make. But instead of you saying, no, I have no time for show band music at all. It's rotten. It was crap. It was a fraud. Which is what you say about it. That's
Yes,
what you say
true,
about
that's
it
true.
on the radio. But you wouldn't come on television and said, but no, you were saying, oh, look, I remember this.
That was a
all
number of
here.
years ago when
This
I was a different person.
Maybe you're a different person. You've
No.
been condemning show band music from ever I know you.
No, when I was asked to do it, I was asked to do it by a good friend of mine, and I
Yes.
was asked not to be nasty and vicious. And I was asked to just do what I was told, and he said he'd give me lots of money, so I did it. I'm not proud of it. And finally, a poem was flooded in. Said Martha to old Geordie, I'm in the family way. You silly old goose, Geordie roared, as he spilled his mug of tea. I thought I reared you, Martha, to keep away from ganders. I've seen you shake your feathered rear as you set off on danders. I'm sorry, Geordie, Martha sobbed. I was overcome with l'amour. And soon there'll be two goslings running round the floor. Old Geordie gave an angry roar and looked as though he'd hit her. Don't come to me, old Geordie yelled, when you need a gosling sitter. Name the gander, Geordie yelled. Who put you in the family way? I'll wring his neck immediately after I've drunk my tea. His name was Rodney, Martha said. I love him such a lot. Oh, please don't strangle Rodney or put him in a pot. Old Geordie ruminated with the aid of cooking sherry, and soon the rural rustic was feeling very merry. Soon he would be a grandad. In the future he could see, sitting in front of the fire with a gosling on each knee. Old Geordie wished wee Martha well, but couldn't understand how's your father for the humble goose, but damn all for the countryman. Old Geordie then rang Jerry with tidings of great joy. Old Martha's in the pudding club. Keep her lit, ya boy. Geordie sat down on his easy chair, listened to the thrush, and toasted the goslings repeatedly with a bottle of black bush. Then a thought began to formulate in Geordie's drunken head. He would goose the next wee dote who dunged out his old bed. A smile appeared in Geordie's face. He was filled with deep desire. In a fit of sexual frustration, he set his house on fire. Old Martha watched the firemen, listened to Geordie's blether, and said to a drake with a twisted beak, "He can't get no houser, father. Look, look, the spring is here. Oh, feel the gentle air," as Geordie Tuft lies sleeping in a badly scorched old chair. Thank you for listening. Back tomorrow.